Hey everyone, I'm in Farming Simulator 22. Here I want to talk to you about greenhouses, how to make them, how they work, what they produce, and what you need to supply them with. So they're really easy to set up and start generating stuff. So you can see that I've got some stuff here that I can go and sell. So I've got some strawberries and I've got some tomatoes, and I've also got some lettuce growing. So that's what they generate. So strawberries, lettuce and tomatoes. And you just leave them once they've got a supply of water to grow this stuff for you. So I'm going to show you how to build it, how we set that up, and how it all works. Okay, so there's a greenhouse there. Let's say we want to add another greenhouse. Now in this area here I created just a bit more space here. I just done this on another tutorial about landscaping, but I was just messing around with different things like trees and stuff. You probably noticed this looks rather different to the standard setup, but I only did it quick, so it's not obviously finished. But this gives me plenty of room to build some greenhouses. So to build some greenhouses, just hit the screens button on your controller. That's the one to the left of the light up Xbox logo. And then when you're on this page, right button all the way down to others, and then you want to find construction. So when you're on construction, hit A, and then you get this nice sort of overhead view where we can see there's our greenhouse. Okay, and then I can apply other greenhouses or build other greenhouses here. So I get this build menu down the bottom, and the right button on your D-pad will move you between buildings, production, animals, decorations, or left to go the other way. And I'm going to go to production and hit A. And then when I'm here, hit down again, and then factories highlights, and I want to move over to greenhouses. And greenhouses, you have three options. So move down again, and then these highlight down the bottom, and I can move between them. And I can have a small greenhouse, a medium greenhouse, or a large greenhouse. They all produce the same thing, work the same way, so you can just pick whatever you want. Obviously, the bigger the greenhouse, the more they're going to generate. So let's go with a large greenhouse. So when you're happy to work with that, press A. Now these are going to cost 10,000 per greenhouse. And there's a couple of things to point out that are important. You've got to be able to access the water point at the front of the greenhouse and fill it up with water. And to the right of the greenhouse, see those little chevrons? That's where your goods are going to end up being placed once you've set the greenhouse up. So let's hit A and build a greenhouse. And then you can build another one wherever you see fit. So we hit one there, and then hit B to come out of the greenhouse. And there they are, they're ready to go. So how do we get them ready and rocking to produce stuff? So the first thing we need to do is give the greenhouse water. Now I have a separate tutorial on how to get water, so you can have a little look on my channel if you need help with that. I'm going to do this very quickly. Basically you need a tractor, you need a tanker, which we've got here. So you'll find this in the, I shall show you quickly. If you go to your sell page with your screens button, not your sell page, you know, like where you buy stuff, go to animals, and then there are various tankers you can buy here, different sizes. This is the one I've got here, the Aquatrans 7300, 7,300 litres. There are bigger ones or smaller ones depending on your needs, but each greenhouse needs quite a bit of water to get it up and running. So the medium one needed 10,000 litres. Not sure about the large one, we'll check in a minute. But let's go and then fill this up. You can then either take the tanker to a lake on the map, and put it by the lake, and then there'll be an option to fill it up, or if you've got a water tank on your farm, you can go here. However, this costs money, so to fill this tanker up will cost me £730 to use this, bizarrely, I don't know why. So to fill it up here, just for speed I'm going to use this, but I press down on the top of the left stick and it will start filling. And you can see down the bottom right, I've got some water filling up into this tank from this little sort of water tank on my farm. So we may as well fill it up all the way. So this takes a moment. So you can see on the right hand side, top right, that cost me £270 just to fill that up. It was already partly filled, but that's how you fill it up. So that little water tank is on the starter farm, so on easy. So it's a fairly easy one to do. You can also add it with the construction menu, but you need to put it by stream, I think. And then you just drive up to the greenhouse, and when you get close enough, you will see this option. See down the bottom in the middle, start overloading water. Hold down RB plus Y. And then when we do that, you see again down the bottom right by the speedometer, the water is now going downwards as it's filling up the greenhouse with the water. So you can see that's going to quite happily swallow all of that water. So we're going to fill this up again in a minute, but I'll just show you what that's done. So let's jump out the tractor with X and go over to the greenhouse. And then you need to set the greenhouse up to grow and tell it what you want it to grow. So we open the door with B, and then when we go inside, move to the little sort of spanner icon, and you should see it says on your controls manage production point, which again you do by pressing down the left stick. And then when you're in this area, if you've got multiple greenhouses, you can see them all in this area. So we've got one greenhouse at the minute is growing tomatoes, lettuce and strawberries. And you can see on the right hand side it shows you what's going on. So it's saying it's done 672 cycles per month. It's costing a measly £2 a month to keep running, which is great. It's producing tomatoes, lettuce and strawberries, and you can see we've got 175 tomato litres, 337 litres of lettuce, 349 strawberries, which is cool. So this new one, I can tell the difference between them because this greenhouse has no water, so I can't really do anything at the minute. But this greenhouse has 7,300 litres of water, so I can get this one going. You can also see production costs again stay the same, even though it's a large greenhouse compared to a medium greenhouse. And we can say what we want to grow. So we could just pick one of these or two of these or three of these. It's up to you. So you can just say I just want tomatoes, or I also want lettuce, or I also want strawberries. Up to you. So what will then happen is it will gradually start producing those, and I'll show you how to speed that up in just a second. Immediately you can see the plants are being planted here, and if we have a little look in our other greenhouse that was already working, we should be able to see how that one is working as well. So let's open the door and have a little look at these, so you can see they are growing rather nicely. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got that one set up. We do the same with this greenhouse. So again, we could just go and get the water, and you just got to keep an eye on those that they're, filling up nicely. Sorry, that they've got plenty of water. They don't tend to run down that fast, but we'll just set the other one with a bit of water as well, and we'll set that one to just grow something specific. So just one of the things, just to see how they make a difference. I'll show you how you get this to then start producing stuff, and also where to sell it. So we'll just get a bit more water, get the other one going. So if you don't want to wait for it to fill up, you can just press down the left stick. So we've got a bit of water there, that'll do that. That'll get it running. And we'll go back over to it. Get our other one. So you can see very fast you can get something up and running that's growing new stuff for you to sell elsewhere. So we'll just make sure we get fairly close. Fill that one up. I think you need to be in the tractor while it unfills. Then we'll just jump into that one, do the same process. Whoops, not that side. This side. And manage production point. And here I could just say this one, I just want to grow strawberries, for example. And just leave it like that, and that's all it will grow. So it will dedicate the whole greenhouse just to growing strawberries. So what about when you've grown this stuff? What then happens? How can you sell it? What do you do? Well, they automatically get added, like you can see here, on pallets. So these are all ready to go, and then you need to think about where to sell these. So if you're not sure where to sell stuff, I do show that in a separate video, but very quickly, you hit the menus button, and if you left button up until you find prices, then you can see the prices of tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries. So I can see who wants these. So the fast food restaurant, for example, or the grocer, or Johnson's Farmer Market, Red Bull Bowling Restaurant. And if you pick any of these, let's pick the fast food restaurant and hit A to tag it. If we then left button up to the map, you can see it's flashing, and that's where I would take it. So to do that, I'm going to need to get a forklift to put it on a transport and then transport it over to sell it. So we can do that. What do we like for time in this? Yeah, this is already getting on. I might show that in a separate video, but basically you can buy a forklift or add a front loader with a forklift, which I'll show in another separate video. Add that to a trailer, drag it over to there, and then you can sell it. I'm pretty sure I'll show something being sold in another video to show you how to do that. So what about to speed up time? If this is what you're mainly doing, you could opt to speed up the time to get it to produce stuff quicker. So if you want to do that, hit the menu button and then right button all the way down until you get to your settings. So you want game settings, and then you can change your time scale by whatever you want. 120 times will really start whipping these out fast. So if I hit B here, what we should start seeing is that these will start producing stuff and it'll pop out of the greenhouse. I should probably close that door, shouldn't I? Fairly quickly, and we'll see those being produced. So you just want to come and keep an eye on these now and again, just to make sure that there's plenty of water. So that one's still got loads of water, 7,000. This one should be fine as well. Whoops. My tractor's in the way, so I can't close the doors now. Typical. Let's move the tractor. So they're not too bad on sort of the amount of water that they use. So you don't need to worry too much about them there. I did notice, come on, that there is another thing that you can add that may help fill the greenhouses with water, which is also in construction. So we go down to construction. I need to remember where I saw it. I think it's under, is it silo extensions? Supplementary water tank. There you go. Supplementary water tank helps you supply your greenhouses with water. Must be placed near greenhouses. I'm not quite sure how this works, whether it just does it automatically, but I did notice it's an option. So whether that then does something, I'm not sure how it works, but it's there. I don't know. Is it doing anything? Doesn't seem to be doing. What was that? Did that go up? Or was that staying down? Don't know. So yeah, something to experiment with that might help lower the amount of water, how it does it. And in terms of picking this stuff up, I'll just quickly show you just before we go. You could get a loader. So I hit the screens button to go into this sort of buy page and then LB to flick over to them. So loaders, you could use any of these to load on your stuff. You'll need a tractor or a truck to pull these along, so a medium tractor, for example. Any of these is fine. I quite like the John Deere 7810. You might want to put a weight on the tractor, which is here. And then lastly, the other options, you'll also need to add a front loader and a forklift attachment. The front loader you do when you buy the tractor. I'll show you very quickly. So you go here, customize front loader, so quick or Hawa. And then depending on which one you do, you then also need to buy a front loaded sort of arm thing or a front loader thing here. So one of these, and then you also need a tool. So the tool that you need is, where is it? A pallet fork. Or your other option, if you don't want to go that way, is to actually just buy a forklift, which you'll find in the vehicles section here. And there's a little forklift thing, which is probably a cheaper option. They move really slowly, so they're about 11, no, there you go, 10 mile an hour speed limit, so it'll take you a little while to get it back to the farm, but they are very easy to drive. And then you can use the forklift and either just drive them to the fast food restaurant or put them on the trailer and get them there that way. That's it really, that's how greenhouses work. Hopefully that was all useful to you. If it was, give us a big fat thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments, really appreciated as well, even if it's just, oh, thanks dude, that's really cool, or let me know how you're getting on with greenhouses. If I missed anything, that's a really cool tip. There we go. So you can see we've already generated some strawberries. Remember, this one was set to generate strawberries, and then this one was set to generate a mix, I think, but this one's taken a little bit longer for some reason. Don't know why, just is. But yeah, you know, we're already generating material there. And have a little look at the rest of my channel if you like this sort of stuff. I've got loads of tutorials on Farming Simulator 22, trying to cover all sorts of stuff that's confusing to new players to the game. I'm having quite a lot of fun exploring and understanding it. One other tip, if you set it on fast forward when it gets to night time, if you want to move to the next day, if you go to your farmhouse, you can just go up to here and press the left stick down to sleep. And then you can choose what time you want to wake up, sleep. And that's also going to mean that your greenhouses are growing that little bit more stuff. And come on. So we should see a bit more stuff is going on. Let's have a little look. We should have more stuff, I would think. Yeah, look at that. Wow, loads of strawberries. And we've got some starting here. So loads of stuff there ready to sell. That we can sell. So that's it really. If you like that, please subscribe to be kept up to date with my future tutorials. Thanks so much.